Hello and welcome to another travel adventure with Sam, and today I'm in Linear Park, which is a beautiful parkland in the heart of Adelaide. Basically goes from the Adelaide Hills into the city centre. It's a park, a green space that people can go for a walk, cycle, and there's plenty of areas to sit down and relax and have picnics, etc. And there's a waterway that runs down the length of the park. And we've had quite a bit of rain over the last couple of days, and I just wanted to come down here for a bit of a walk so I can show you what the water levels look like at the moment. And yeah, it should be a bit of fun. But yeah, Linear Park in Adelaide, we're so blessed to have this green space that extends all the way from Adelaide Hills to the coastline. And we have a waterway here called Torrens River, and it's not very deep or wide in this area, but it extends into the city area, and it's a lot wider there and deeper, obviously, and we do use it for recreational activities. But yeah, in this area here, it's not as wide, not as deep, but it's still a lot of fun, and there's a lot of wildlife, mainly ducks. So we'll see a few of those on the way as well. Okay, so this is one of the little bridges here, which is crossing over the waterway now. I'll just show you this little area here. Now, this is quite interesting. See those green nets there? What they do is their purpose is to catch as much litter as they can before they go into the main area of the river. And the council cleans them out periodically, and yeah, it saves a lot of contaminants going into the river, plastics and rubbish, etc. So that's a really cool idea, and there's a few of those along the waterway. So this is one of them, obviously, and there's a few others along the waterway as well. So obviously there is a track to walk on, but I'm actually walking on the grassed area now just to have a closer look at the waterway here. And as I said before, we've had a decent amount of rain over the last couple of days, so you can see that the water levels are quite high, and it's also flowing quite nicely too. We'll just go around this way again. That's the bridge that we were walking across before. The catchment area over there. And here we go. Okay, we're back on the bridge now. And we'll go for a bit of a walk along the Linear Park trail. It goes that way. We're going this way. If you turn left, you'd be walking up towards the Adelaide Hills. But so going that way is the Adelaide Hills area. And then if you walk this way, you're actually going towards the city. You can hear the birds in the background. Lots and lots of birds. We've got magpies, crows, ibis, minor birds, ducks, different kinds of ducks. The two main duck varieties here are the wood duck and the black duck. We'll see if we can see some of those today as well. There's another little bridge over there. the council does a great job with the upkeep of this parkland and trail. There's a little area there. You can sit down, have something to eat. It's looked after by a variety of councils, depending on which council that the particular part of the park is situated. So this particular area that we're in now is looked after by the Norwood, Payneham and St Peters Council. But it's also looked after by the Adelaide Hills Council, the Adelaide City Council, Walkerville Township. So there's a few councils that look after their section of Linear Park. Seems to work well. Some areas look a little bit better than others, depending on the council, to be honest. But yeah, it seems to work pretty well. We'll just go down this way here. Got some really interesting areas. Kind of went the wrong way, really, to be honest. I should have gone this way. So they've got some steps here. Go down the steps. There you go. Got to be careful. It's still pretty wet and slippery, so we're going to be a little bit careful. And look at that. They're pretty cool. I think this design is based on Indigenous designs as well, which is something very important here in Australia, that we are respectful of our Indigenous culture and our First Nations people. I think that's pretty cool. Alright, we're going to go back upstairs. There's a lady drinking from a water fountain. They've got a few of those around the place. There's a lot of people here that use this park for recreation, for exercise, and along the way you'll see places like this set up to have picnics, and they have barbecue areas that you can use as well. And on the track you'll find some of these as well, which are monkey bars and different things for the kiddies to play with. Also to do some exercise, I would imagine. So we're not going to do the whole Linear Park trail, obviously. Not exactly sure how long it is, but it'd be too long to do in one video unless I make it an hour long. So we're not going to do that. But we'll just do this little section of it. And the main reason I wanted to come here today was to see the water, because as I mentioned again, yeah, we've had quite a bit of rain and the water levels have really risen, as you can see. Look at that, a couple of ducks over there. See if I can zoom in for you. A couple of ducks frolicking in the water. Yeah, the water's flowing quite rapidly, which is good. And that's actually very good for the system, because it flushes all the water out into the ocean and cleans up the river. Look at that. I'm off the track at the moment on the lawn area, or the grass area. So we've got to be a bit careful because it can get a bit muddy and slippery. So this is only a side track. The main track is up that area here. But yeah, all right. Just noticed a couple of ducks over here. Won't scare them. We'll just see if we can have a look at them. Hold on. Having a great time in the water. Look at that. That looks so peaceful. But beneath the water, their legs are probably going 100 miles per hour. They're beautiful. These ones are known as black ducks. You can tell by the longer beaks. The wood ducks have got shorter beaks, so we'll probably see a couple of those later as well. Okay, we're back onto the main track now. Just to get the bearings right, if you go that way, it's towards the hills. And if you go this way, it's towards the city centre. But we're going to go down this track. Now what this does, there's two main tracks. There's one on the left side and there's one on the right side. And this little track here brings us to another bridge, which brings us over to the other side. So there's a little bridge in the distance, and we're going to cross that. Okay, we're getting closer to the bridge now that we're going to cross. You can see the water here is flowing quite nicely. A few ducks on the side of the riverbank there, or I say river. This part of Torrens is more like a creek, but it does get wider and deeper as you go closer to the city. And here's a bunch of ducks here. I love ducks. Look at this. They're wood ducks, sorry, they're black ducks as well. You can tell by the longer beaks, as I mentioned before. And here's another little bridge. And some more ducks on the other side. Have a look at that. Great time. So we're crossing over this bridge, and this is the track on the other side. So there's two tracks, two main tracks. There's another little area there where you can sit down. The track on this side towards the hills. So you can actually see this is a major track here. That's the spur track that we just came down. And then up a little bit further up there is another section of the main track. So there's a track over there and this track here. And this is now, we're heading towards the city. So those playing at home, we're heading west towards the city. Now, I don't know if you can see, I didn't go over that side because we crossed the bridge, but there's a big playground over there as well. They really do cater for everybody, especially families. It's a really great area. Now, this is winter. As I said, I mainly came today because of the rain that we've had, and I wanted to look at the waterway. There's a couple of cyclists just passing me. This is a shared track, so walkers, runners, cyclists. So we try to use the track together and be respectful of each other. Most times it works. You do get the odd occasion where there might be an altercation. That's very rare. I think most people do the right thing. So on this area here, we have something in Adelaide called the O-Barn, and I've done a video on the O-Barns in my previous videos. So if you want to check those out, check my library out. And so yeah, I was just mentioning about the O-Barn in Adelaide. It's a busway, which is unique to Adelaide actually. I think the idea came from Germany, hence the name O-Barn. There's a bus now on the O-Barn. I've done as I said, I've done a video on it, and it's in my libraries list, so go down and check those out. And what they've got is they've got all these different stations, bus stations along that basically follows linear park track, and they have these car parks here where people can drive their cars and park their car and then take the O-Barn, which is an express busway, all the way into the city. And yeah, it's a pretty nifty little idea. It's been operating for quite a while now, and it gets used by a lot of people. And there's one of the bus stations over there. This is the Clemzig interchange. This is only a small one. The Clemzig interchange is a small bus station along the O-Barn. It's one of the stations along the track, which is pretty cool. We're heading towards OG Road, and it says here, if you have a look at the sign, 7.5 kilometres to the city. So if you were to walk along this trail or this track, it would be a 7.5 kilometre walk, run or cycle to get to the city. It looks like they're doing a bit of work over there as well. So we're not going to do the whole track obviously, but I'll do as much as I can just to show you the bits and pieces of the linear park. Okay, as I mentioned, they're doing some work here, and it looks like it's under the bridge where OG Road is. So we'll have a look and see what they're doing there. This is another catchment area. Remember I was mentioning about those green nets? So this is another area that they've set up in order to catch debris, garbage, plastics, etc. before it gets into the main waterway. And the council comes and empties those nets on a regular basis, and it stops a lot of the garbage and plastics and all the nasties from getting into the main waterway, which is good. Now, as I said, this isn't normally here, but they're obviously doing some work under the bridge. We can still walk under it, which is great. This bridge is pretty cool. As you can see, it's a nesting place for a lot of pigeons. A lot of pigeons nest under the beams of this bridge. I'm not sure if you can see them, but yeah, there's plenty of pigeons. Now usually this place is full of pigeons, but they're obviously out foraging and feeding, but normally you've got hundreds of pigeons under this bridge, and they're all roosting under there. But yeah, they're obviously doing some pretty major work under the bridge, so that's interesting. That wasn't here last week, so they're doing some work under the OG Road Bridge. So we're still walking along the track heading west towards the city. Another cyclist just going past us then. And we've got a runner coming up As I said, a lot of people use this track, and to be honest, it's probably not as busy today because it's it's wet, it's cold. But in summer, this place gets pretty busy. Pretty busy indeed. Just wanted to show you another sign here. As you can see to the right, it's 7.5 kilometres to the city, and it's 12.5 kilometres if you head east to the hills at this point here. So heading west towards the city. So from that previous sign, if you've done the calculations like I've just done, the linear park track is or trail is 20 kilometres long. There you go. I didn't actually know how long it was. So 12.5 plus 7.5, that would be 20 kilometres. It's not a bad walk. 20 kilometre walk. They do hold charity walks along the linear park track every so often. They might start in the city and end up in the hills, and raising money for charity. A big group of people getting together and going for a 20k walk. Why not? There's a sign here which says snakes active. So you have to be wary of snakes, would you believe? But this is Australia. You have to expect that. There's a lot of animals here that you have to respect because they're living in their natural environment, and you just have to be respectful of their place on this earth. But yeah, snakes are active, but I would imagine being so cold, the snakes wouldn't be out at the moment. It's mainly in summertime. They're cold-blooded, so they come out into the sun to warm themselves up. I don't think we're going to have too many problems with snakes at the moment. Too cold for them. Only silly people like me are out walking in the cold and the wet. No, I'm not silly. It's actually beautiful. Seeing the water flow, the animals, you can hear the birds in the background. It's just a lovely track, linear park. One of the cool things about linear park is, as I said, it's basically built for recreation. And this area here although it's not a fenced-in dog park, a lot of people bring their dogs here. And as you can see, there's a couple of dogs on the park. There's another couple, there's one there. And they bring their dogs to this park and they let them run around, throw balls, frisbees and sticks, and let the dogs get a bit of exercise. And they normally do it in this part of the linear park. And recently they've just built a really lovely park within a park, which we'll show you in a minute. And it's got a bicycle track for the kiddies, it's got a playground, it's got barbecue facilities, and it's really, really lovely. So we'll have a look at that in a second. So this is a new park within a park. As you can see, they have some playground equipment here, all the way up the top there. And if you follow this track here, all the way around, right, what that is a little bike track for the kiddies to ride their bikes, which I think is amazing. Keeps them off the main track, and their parents can watch them. Here's another water refill area where you can fill up your water bottles. It's a barbecue area here, which is good, and there's toilets over there as well. So they've done a really great job. I see this place normally, as I said, in summer, this place would be full. Have a lot of families here, a lot of kiddies playing, a lot of picnics. I've seen birthday functions here. They've got this picnic area here with the barbecue, and they've got another one up the top there, as you can see, just up there. And I really love the idea of this little track that goes all the way around this park within a park, so that the kiddies can ride their bikes safely. And they've got seating over here and over here, as you can see. And you know, the parents can sit down and watch their kids go around this little track and have a bit of fun. So yeah, it's a really, really lovely area that the council has put together for people to use and enjoy. We have a lot of bird varieties here in Linear Park, and a lot of the species live in hollows, in tree hollows. And unfortunately, there's not that many tree hollows for the amount of birds in the environment. So what the council has done and conservation groups have done is they've made these little houses for the birds. And as you can see, there's a little opening up the top, and they've got these scattered out along the park, and they house birds, which is really, really cool. One of the other things is that you will often hear kookaburras, but kookaburras are very well camouflaged birds, and it's very, very difficult to see them up in the trees. The other thing you'll find is there's a lot of koalas about, and if you look really, really carefully, you might be lucky enough to see some koalas in the trees as well. Not sure if we'll see any today, but yeah, that's just a really lovely idea, putting those up. Little houses for various bird species. This is a pretty important sign. It's called Our Patch, and what it does, it gets the community involved in taking responsibility for the catchment areas. And this one is looked after by the students at Vale Park Primary School. And there's some of the stuff that they do is weed removal, habitat restoration, and also community education. And very important. And it really is a really great way to introduce students and kiddies into environmental factors and how to preserve nature and how to, restore nature. And I just think it's a great idea. And this area, this particular catchment area, Our Patch, is looked after by the students of Vale Park Primary School. Here's another sign. Weed removal, tree planting, habitat restoration. The waterway restoration site has been prepared by the students of Vale Park Primary School. Hats off to them and to the teachers at that school. They do an amazing job, and they not only help to restore the waterways and the catchment areas, but they also teach the students and the kiddies all about nature and trees and vegetation and bird life. And yeah, I think it's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. We're going underneath one of the roadway bridges again that line the park. Unfortunately, and this you'll find everywhere in the world, you get a lot of graffiti. The council are pretty good. What they do is they actually clean up the graffiti, or they have a system in place. There's an app that you can actually report graffiti to the council, and they come out and they clean it up. But no sooner do they clean it up, basically people look at it as a blank canvas, and the graffiti artists, if you want to call them that, come out and paint the walls again. Now, remember I told you that area where all the pigeons roost, and it was pretty empty, and that's because they're all here. They're all feeding There they are. All the pigeons, they come to this area. This is one of my favourite parts of the entire park. As you can see, they've got a barbecue area over there, and it's just a nice open space. They've got another little bridge here. Remember, I told you there's two major tracks. There's one over this side, and then obviously the one on this side. This is called Willow Bend Reserve. Willow Bend Reserve. It's one of my favourite places. This area here, you always find ducks and birds, and sometimes seabirds roosting on that particular branch. So yeah, pretty cool. It's one of my favourite areas of the whole park. Park has a lot of entries into the walkway from different areas. There's an entry point there. If you go over here, there's another entry point over here, which we'll go past. And there's another one basically a bit further down there as well. So it doesn't matter where you are, you can actually walk onto this park at various entry points. And you can see a couple of gentlemen here. This is an outdoor gym area that is located in the park as well. And they have a lot of seating areas, and it's all open area. They've got seats over there. They've got another barbecue area over there, as I mentioned. So yeah, really cool. Really cool. When I started doing this video, I didn't know how long it was going to be and how far I was going to walk. But it looks as if I'm going to go from Felixstow all the way to Walkerville. So thank you for joining me on this journey as we have a look at some of the beautiful sights and sounds of Linear Park. There's a little tourist area up there with cabins. You can stay in those cabins. A really nice place to stay when you're in Adelaide. I'm not sure exactly what it's called. I'll hazard a guess it's a Linear Park caravan park cabin resort place. I don't know, but it's really lovely. Look at that. So you got these ones here. There's a couple of cabins there that are joined together, and then you got some single cabins over up the top there. They look really nice actually. Wow, really lovely. So if you're ever in Adelaide, it's a great place to stay, right on Linear Park, in a nice luxury cabin overlooking the waterway and the catchment area. And here we go. Another little birdhouse. And I think there's another one over here as well. There's actually 2 or 3 in this area. That was one. Looks like there's another one up there. Let's see if we can see that one as well. And there's one right here. Wow, so there's a few in this particular area, which is good. So each one of those little bird houses would house a bird, which would otherwise not have a little home to live in, because real estate for birds is at a premium. And here's another one. Look. So they're all over the park, which is good, and they really try to look after the bird life here by offering little habitats for them to live in, which is amazing. Well, recently the council did some landscaping in this area here. This is a bend on the river where, along this area here, it was just soil and dirt, and it was being eroded away quite badly. And so what they decided to do was put a little bit of a stone wall along the perimeter of the bank there, so that as the water comes around, it hits the stones rather than the soil, alleviating any erosion. And they also did a walkway up there. There's a little bridge here. Now it's actually quite interesting. You can see that the bridge has got a lot of vegetation on it, as you can see along here. And what that represents to me is that the water levels would have been that high that it went over the bridge and obviously left all the vegetation, and then obviously the water's subsided and it's left the vegetation on the bridge. So it just shows you how high the water level can come up here. Probably another couple of feet. I've also noticed that this area is a really great little nursery spot for ducks. I've seen a lot of ducklings here. It's a great place for ducks to come and raise their little chicks, their ducklings. There's a few ducks here now. Actually, it's quite interesting. We got some, what have we got? We've got some wood ducks here. You can see wood ducks. Then we got some black ducks. They're mixing together. You can tell the difference because of the size of the beak. That's a wood duck. It's got a smaller beak. And then these guys here are the black ducks. They've got longer beaks. Beautiful. There's a few of them around. As I said, I love ducks. And it's interesting to see that the two species of ducks are mingling together. They don't normally. The wood ducks and the black ducks. But yeah, they've done a great job here. Not only does it look good, but it serves a bit of a purpose because it alleviates any of the erosion that the water was causing along the side of the bank. This little bird here is the piping shrike. It's the emblem of South Australia, would you believe? Look at this little beauty. It looks like a magpie. It's got the same colours, but it's a lot smaller. This little fella's pretty brave. It's not really flying away or anything. How are you, fella? We'll have a bit of a close-up again. That is a beautiful little bird. Absolutely beautiful. We're so lucky. We've got rosellas here. We got sulphur-crested cockatoos. We got galahs. There's so many different bird species here along the park. And we're so blessed. It's basically right in the heart of Adelaide to have this green space, as I mentioned before. It's just amazing. It's so, we're so lucky. And if you ever come to Adelaide, if you live in Adelaide and never been on this trail, please come and check it out. If you come to Adelaide, please look up Linear Park and go for a walk. Take a picnic with you and sit down and in one of the nice green areas and have a picnic. Now, obviously it's winter, it's a bit wet and cloudy and drizzly, but in summer, oh my goodness, what a great place. But I like it when it's winter. All the birds are out, the water levels are higher. There's an oban. You go 80 or 90 kilometres per hour on that track, which is good. Express to the city. Yeah, I like winter because it's the water levels are higher, the river's flowing, plenty of ducks, plenty of bird life to look at. Not as many people, I have to admit, which is probably a good thing in a way, because it can get pretty crowded in summer. But that's a good thing too. It just shows that people are using the track, which is really, really good. So I've seen people fishing on this area here. I don't know what kind of fish you get. Two young lads used to sit right here and fish. I don't think they were really fishing per se. I think they were just enjoying time sitting out in nature together and having a bit of fun, with the excuse of having a fishing line in the water. They've shored up the embankments here, as you can see, by placing rocks along the bank. And that's actually a great idea as well, because it mitigates erosion. As you can see, this goes all the way along here, which is good. There's another sign here. We'll just see how far we've gone. We'll have a look. Now remember the last one we looked at, it said 7.5 kilometres to the city. Oh geez, that hurt. This one says 5 kilometres. So we've walked 2.5 kilometres, and I just crashed my knee into a pylon, and that actually hurt. Oh well, things you do while you're making a YouTube video. All I can say is ouch. Wow, that actually kind of hurt. There's another little piping shrike. It's one of the beautiful things about walking along Linear Park is that you see all this wonderful bird life. There's another one right here, look. How lucky are we to see all these beautiful little birds? That's the third one I've seen. They're one of my favourite birds. They're like, as I said, they're like magpies, same colouring, but a lot smaller. They're called a few different things too, if I'm not mistaken. They're called skylarks, mudlarks, and piping shrikes. I like to call it the piping shrike. I love that sound, it's so peaceful and calming. Okay, so we've come to a spot now where it's a bit of a T-junction. You can go that way or this way. We'll just go over here for a second. As you can see, that's the O-Bahn. There's another O-Bahn bus coming. Okay, so here's the O-Bahn bus track. You can see goes around the bend here, and the track continues in this area here towards the city. But what we're going to do is we're going to come back this way, and we're going to turn left, and we're going to go a different way. This is not really part of the Linear Park track, but it's another little area to bring us over to Walkerville, and the main area of Walkerville, the main street. So as you can see, we have to go through this track here. That's the O-Bahn track right there. And here we go. So this track here is not part of the Linear Park trail, but what it does, it brings you to the main area of Walkerville. All right, so as I said, this little track takes you to the main street of Walkerville, back in suburbia. There we are. You can go down there and have a look at the river. flowing quite rapidly now because of all the rains. So now we're basically in Walkerville. There's another little park here, and if you go up this street here, that's the main street. They've got lots of cafes and restaurants here, and we're not going to go down there today, but yeah, you can go all the way down there. That's Walkerville. There's a Woolies there, and what we're going to do is walk back this way and join up back onto the Linear Park Trail from the track that we diverted from to come to this section of Walkerville. There's the Watson there. It's a residential address. You can people live there, they purchase the property, rent the property. It's actually quite nice, the Watson. They've got a nice cafe underneath there as well. Here's another view of the river from up here. But what we're doing is we're walking back to join back up onto the Linear Park Trail. Okay, so this is a little bridge which takes you from the Linear Park Trail. It's another way to get to Walkerville and to the Watson. So I just wanted to show you this bridge here. It's actually very, very beautiful. And there's the Watson there. So you can actually go from the trail over this little bridge, and this will take you to the Watson, and if you turn right, it'll take you to Main Street, Walkerville Main Street, which we went to before, which is over there. And if you cross this zebra crossing here, there's a really lovely cafe called Far Far Away underneath there. So you can probably just see it just under there. It's a cafe. There's a big car park there as well. And some seating area here. Now, to be quite honest, when I started this video, I didn't know how long it was going to be or where I was going to go. So what I've done is I've actually backtracked now from Walkerville, and we're going down these steps, which brings you back onto the trail proper. What you have to do is you have to walk along the river, and there's a trail which brings you back to the other side by way of a bridge. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk down these steps and show you how to get back onto the main trail, which, as you can see, is over there. So to get over there, we have to walk along this side of the track. Again, this is not the main part, but this joins you back onto the main trail. So we're going to go for a walk, and then we're going to cross a bridge, get back onto the main trail. But instead of turning right and heading west into the city, we're going to turn left, and we're going to head east towards the hills, and we're going to go back to where we started from. So you've got to watch out for this big puddle of water. It's always there. Even in summer, I notice that there's water there. I like this area as well. It's very peaceful, very calming. And a lot of ducks here as well. A lot of ducks. It's like a duck nursery over this side. Not so much over here, but I'll show you on the other side of the bridge. Beautiful. I love the sound of the water as it's rolling over the rocks. Have a listen to that. Beautiful. Love that. Okay, so now we're on the trail, the northern end trail, think it's going to start to rain soon. Yes, it is. And I do not have an umbrella with me. So what I'm going to do is see this little bridge here. I'm going to go under this bridge and I'm going to wait for the rain to stop because I didn't bring an umbrella. Okay, well, looks like the rain has stopped for the moment. Lucky there was that little bridge area there that I could seek some shelter. As I said, I didn't bring an umbrella. So I would have got soaked. But luckily there was a little bit of shelter for me to hide in and didn't get wet, thankfully. Thankfully. So our mission is to get to that side. So we'll be doing that soon, hopefully. I'm still on the northern side of the track and we want to get to the southern side. Another bridge here in case it starts raining. I can stop here as well. But the rain has seemingly stopped at the moment, so we'll continue on without an umbrella. Okay, so here's another entry point into the park. We're heading now towards a bridge which is over there, and that'll take us onto the other side of the river. As you can see, this is a nice open area too, with a few chairs, tables and chairs, where you can come and have a picnic as well. So we're just going to cross that bridge there, and then we're going to head back towards the hills where my car is parked. There's another open area here with a few tables and chairs. Great place for a picnic. And as I mentioned, it's a place where I've seen ducks with their families of ducklings. It's a nice little area here, like a little nursery area for ducks over here. There's not many here today. And they fixed this area up. This area did not have this little track here last time I was here. So they've made it very nice, and they've placed down some asphalt. Remember, this track is used for walkers and runners, but also for cyclists. So I'm sure that they've tried to make it cyclist friendly as well. Okay. So if you turn right and follow the track that way, you'd be heading towards the city. But what we're going to do is we're going to go down this way, and this is leading us eastward and towards the hills. And look what they've done on the side here with all the stones, just to hold up the vegetation and make sure there's no land spills. A retaining wall is what it's called. They've done a great job. Beautiful retaining wall. Not only is it practical, but it looks good too. It goes all the way down. All the way down. And there are houses up there. Up the top there, there's houses as well. And a beautiful retaining wall here. And there's some ducks over there. Beautiful. As I said, they're probably one of my favourites, along with the piping shrike. I love piping shrikes. I think they're beautiful. And I love ducks, both the species that are here in Linear Park. I love the fact that they can walk, swim and fly. I think they're the superheroes of the animal world. They can do all those three things. Pretty cool. Super duck. So for those playing at home, I'm on the other side of the track, and I'm heading the opposite direction that we came, going back to where we started. So I'm actually heading eastward. Before we were heading westward towards the city. Now we're heading eastward towards the hills. And there's a couple of things to see on this side before we sign off and end the video, but I want to show you they've built a really great playground for the kiddies, and I wanted to show you that before we end the video, so I'll show you that soon. Okay, so finally on this little journey with Travel Adventures with Sam, I wanted to show you this amazing playground that the council's built here on Linear Park Trail. It's absolutely amazing. And again, in summer, this place is chock-a-block full of people. All the little kiddies running around, sliding down the slides, and just having a whale of a time, and really enjoying themselves. Well, my battery's basically on its last couple of percentages, and I think it's going to fail on me pretty soon. So I'm going to say a quick goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this little video from Travel Adventures with Sam. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Please feel free to share, and yeah. Please subscribe to my channel. It's free to do, and it helps my channel to grow. So until next time, happy travels.